It's
This
all
is
good. Wait, hold up. Can I interrupt? I just want to ask,
yeah.
how have you put together a well thought out introduction, or is it just like a
It's
little
something.
blurb that you're just gonna
It's just a little
freestyle?
blurb. It's just a little blurb for now. Pretty much just be like, hey guys, welcome to the NBA TroutCast. Until it's formally named, because it's informally named for the moment. It's just pretty much just like something that's just popped up. Just like, oh, that's like the only like really good title name for the podcast at the moment is NBA TroutCast.
Solid.
Um,
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah, but no, we're still doing other parts of it. I was talking with Erin the other night, and she said that she'll make something for fun for it. I was like, Erin, I mean, if you make something really cool, I'll pay you for it. Like that's like,
That's yeah, for sure.
but she's like, I just do it for fun anyway. I was like, oh well, I mean, if you want to do it for fun, cool. I mean, I don't mind paying you to make like a title and everything for it. Just because this, I mean, I've thought about doing a podcast into sports for a while. Originally, I was thinking on doing like NFL, NBA, like a little bit of the other two major sports in the U.S. being baseball and hockey.
Pickleball?
Pickleball, dude, yo, no, you hear about cricket though? You hear cricket's gonna be made into a big sport in the U.S. now too. They made like a whole new league for the U.S.
Are you dead ass?
I'm not even kidding, dude. Like they
Oh, that's actually kind of sauce, dude. I mean, it's not a sport that I would myself would
yeah. See,
find
they
a
have
lot
like
of
a U.S.
interest in.
national team. They have a U.S. national team though. Is the thing about
That's
about
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But it's just something I wouldn't play.
Mason, if you're actually trying to watch this, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to bear with the fucking latency because it sucks whenever it starts off.
Yeah, no, that is how it is with Twitch though. Twitch is
That's
like,
why all the people who I typically watch on Twitch have like they have like what is it? They just do their intro and stuff in the beginning where it normally doesn't take them that long to load. It'll sit there buffering for a few seconds, but they'll just leave their little intro screen up for a couple minutes.
yeah, no,
And
that's what they usually what streamers usually do. They'll usually play like an introduction to their channel and stuff like that. It'll be like a 3 minute, 5 minute introduction, and then they'll
just
sit
so that
around in a waiting or something like that. It's title screen for a few more minutes until the stream is completely legitimized.
exactly, just to kind of let the bit rate catch up
Yep.
because that's like what the issue is it's just
Yeah.
taking the time to connect to Twitch's servers and actually like get a consistent fucking you know
Yeah. No,
what's the word.
I totally understand that because that's how it is with my streams too. When I was streaming, I mean, I'll probably get back to streaming at some point, but for now, I'm just gonna do like this podcast with just recordings, cut parts and segments into little bits for TikTok, YouTube,
Yeah,
Spotify,
just
that kind
bear
of
with
thing.
it, it'll get better.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so I was referring to Mason, not to you, Tommy.
No,
But
you're good. You're
honestly, the same words apply to you too, though.
yeah.
It's just like I was just so busy, I wasn't able to stream at all, and I'm sure that you starting a new job felt that shit the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
that's how it is right now. I mean, right now I'm considering cutting my second class and just focusing on work until such time as I get to the GM position, and then I can focus on work and school, and then have the podcast lined up for days in which I don't work, which would usually, if I was a GM or a SM, it would probably be like Saturday or Sunday or something like that.
yeah,
But I we'll get to that point when we get to that point. It's further down the line.
for
Um,
sure.
but anyway, this is the Troutcast, where we discuss all things NBA, informally and formally. We discuss coaching changes. We discuss breaking news. We discuss trade talks. The Trade Finder. I mean, my personal opinion, I think Trade Finder is bogus because it doesn't take into account player value and GM influence. It just takes into account salary caps and stuff like that. We also talk about statistics, MVP races, award races, essentially. We discuss all things in that manner. And yeah, we've got good old Neathawk here, dude. I appreciate you joining today, though, for sure.
And yeah, of course, man. I know more or less nothing more than the average casual fan, but I started liking the Lakers after they won the finals in the bubble.
Bro, now look at them. Rob Pelinka has destroyed that franchise.
I know it's not, well, I mean, there's so many different aspects to it. But anyway, finish your intro and we'll
No,
get
no,
right
we
into
already finished
this.
the intro, man. We could
Okay.
that could be our first discussion, honestly, if we want, is the Lakers. I mean, going
I
into the
mean, it's
season.
probably going to be most of the discussion regardless because they're my favorite team, but they're dog shit. I can't have a reason right now to think that they're going to make the playoffs. Like they're that bad.
Yeah, I mean, see, currently the Lakers are 2-10. They hold not the overall first position for the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes because there's also the Rockets, I believe, who are also 2-10. Let me just check real quick. 1 minute. Let me just double check that real quick. Not NFLY. I want NBA standings. So currently, at the moment, we see the Rockets at 2-11. So technically, the Rockets have the first overall pick currently at this frame of time for the NBA draft. The Lakers, I'm pretty sure it's a pick swap. So whoever has the lower pick, whoever has the lottery pick or like the top 5 pick, the other team will swap for. Well, the Pelicans will. So if the Pelicans end up worse than the Lakers, the Pelicans will take their own pick. If the Lakers end up worse than the Pelicans will swap with the Lakers pick, and then they get that pick. So currently, it's looking as if the Pelicans are rubbing their hands together, like, I'm looking at you, Scoot Henderson. I'm looking at you, Victor Wembanyama. I might be looking at you, Amani Bates, if you decide to go into the NBA after your freshman season.
I think sophomore season. He played last year at Memphis.
Imani?
Yeah,
He's a
100%.
second year player.
Yeah. The thing was, I think his hometown might be Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. I paid attention to him because, like, now that I'm in Tennessee, getting to see
Oh
college
yeah, he
sports
played.
is a lot.
He was a
It's a lot
rookie
more
and
prominent
he
here.
was a freshman in Memphis, and he went to
Yeah.
Eastern Michigan this year to their Eagles team.
And
Okay.
there was something else that had happened that had me a little bit worried that like maybe his off the court decisions weren't super like great because he'd been something had happened where like he might have gotten like I don't know if he got arrested or just kind of like detained and held by police, but there was some like article or something I saw on
Yeah,
maybe
he
Sports
was
Center about
arrested on
it.
he was arrested on September 18th for felony charges of carrying a concealed weapon and
Yeah.
altering ID marks on a firearm. He pleaded
Yeah.
guilty to a misdemeanor charge on the 19th of attempting to transport a loaded firearm in a vehicle, and the charges were dropped. So, I mean,
Gotcha.
I feel like with those kinds of things that happen in your life, especially as someone who strives to be like a future NBA player, future football player, or something like that, I feel like moments like that will put you in a position where you're like, damn, I really shouldn't do this, so that I ruin my possible future where I could be making all kinds of money. I could have a fantastic life. I could have a wonderful family and stuff like that. That kind of thing.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think that it comes down to a lot of things. It's one, are you mentally intelligent enough, like, to kind of look past that? Not focus on the negative, but definitely like not ignore it either. You got to learn from those mistakes you make.
Yep.
And then also if he has good mentorship, I mean, I know like something that's kind of again like I was saying like the communities in like Tennessee and stuff like that moving down here like if you get a lot of community support as an athlete it's obviously huge and can be detrimental to a program so like I hope that the coaches I hope that the leadership of that team kind of rises up and is like you have NBA potential like we can get you there we just need to like work together keep
Yeah.
your head out of that kind of like negative just environment
I mean, the man
you
just
know
dropped 30 the other
No,
night.
oh no, he's an absolute talent, bro. Like I said, like watching him that's why I was so excited because I got to see a lot of the tournament and like everywhere down here is playing it when it comes to like March Madness time. Like
Yes.
You'll go into
See,
like the gas station, they might have it up.
they
Like,
lost to number 22 East, no, number 22 Michigan by 5 points. He shot 63% from the field and 50% from three as a 6'10 big. And he had 30 points and 5 rebounds. Like, the guy is really good, and he's slated to be a fantastic player in the NCAA. Someone who could guide their team into the March Madness. Someone who could eventually, if he decides to go to the NBA draft in the combine after this season in the NCAA, or he could play as a junior or senior and he could get more experience from college. I mean, that's something he could definitely do, and I feel like he's a guy who could be a fantastic player.
for sure. Sorry, I'm just replying to Mason really quick in my chat. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I totally agree. I think the dude's a hooper. It
Yep.
would be exciting to see him get one of the lottery picks in the draft. Kind of to bring it back full circle to that, like the Pelicans are no joke, like in such a wonderful position because they have a team with enough like younger talent
Youth,
where
yeah.
like they could potentially be in very good playoff seedings this year. Potentially, again, highly. There's still a lot of games left to play. But
Oh,
if
yeah.
their positioning is good enough, they could be playing some bums the first round, finishes like a second or third seed. Again, things would have to kind of chess pieces,
Align.
but like they come like second or third seed and get to play like you know, I'm trying to think of like Jazz, like the Jazz right now, who are in really good position wise, but aren't the best team for whatever reason, or just winning games because of Laurie Markkinen.
Yeah, no,
Like,
Laurie Markkinen has definitely proved himself to be an all-star, possibly in the future. He's honestly, in a lot of people's eyes, from what I've seen in media, the early favorite for most improved player. Although there is definitely a lot of good names on that list for most improved player. You've got players like Keldon Johnson. You've got players like Bol who've been brought up in here and
ooh,
every now and
that's a
again.
really good one.
Um,
Also, not even is Bol still in the Nuggets?
no,
Am I?
he's on the Magic. That's why he's getting
He's
a
on the
bunch of
Magic
minutes
now.
too. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was thinking about where he'd gone to, but I wasn't exactly
See,
sure.
the Nuggets didn't give enough ample time to produce and grow as a player because I mean the Nuggets have a deep team. They have a very deep team with a bunch of talent, and Bol wasn't getting enough minutes. He was getting something like 18, 16 minutes a game, not even. And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to go to the Magic." And he's been pretty good there so far with a lot of those guys. You also got to attribute it to the fact Cole Anthony hasn't really been playing much either. So a lot of touches that Cole Anthony was getting last season isn't going to him. It's going to all the other guys on the team too.
True. That's actually something I was gonna say is it was one of the things I was thinking about us talking about as like an overall kind of topic was injuries this so far this season. People like Cole Anthony. I don't think Cole Anthony's played more than 2 or 3
He's
games
played a few
before
games.
yeah, he injured his oblique, and I mean that's something that like he might not play the same coming back from. I mean, it's like an abdominal injury. It's definitely like not to be taken lightly. He's missed quite a few games already, you
Yeah,
know?
he's only played 4 games this season. He was averaging 15 and a half, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 35% from three, which is pretty good, 42% from the field off of 31 minutes a game before he got hurt. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
he was playing pretty good. He was playing decent for the Magic team, and then
And
yeah, an oblique
I
tear.
give him a little leeway with his shot percentage too, simply because the dude's a little bit shorter than most guards.
Yep. He is shorter, and then you also have to think a lot of teams when they're looking at the depth chart of the Magic team, they're looking at guys like Franz Wagner. They're looking at Paulo Banchero. They're looking at Cole Anthony. And are like, yeah, these are the 3 guys that could do the most harm to us. Yeah, every player in the league is there for a reason, but these are the 3 guys we got to watch out for the most when we're playing defense.
For sure. For
Um,
sure.
okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, that's another thing. Paulo Banchero is honestly
Oh,
him
bro.
and Benedict Mathurin so far are the runaways for the rookie of the year. It reminds me of I want to
Wait,
say
who's the second guy? I didn't even
Benedict
hear,
Mathurin. He's on the
never even heard
Pacers.
of this
He's
person.
he's one of the big reasons why that Pacers team is sixth in the Eastern Conference right now. I mean, there's
What's
all
their
kinds of
record?
people. They're 6-6. A lot of
Okay.
people, including myself, had them in the lower four teams in the Eastern Conference to end the season. But the Pacers have been playing so well. Miles Turner's been great. Buddy Hield's
Miles
been
Turner has been
fantastic.
good. Dude, how good would Miles Turner have been on the Lakers this season?
See,
Like
that's
that
a
would have been a completely different team.
See, that's the thing. Again, Rob Pelinka makes the mistake of being like, "Oh, I don't want to trade my 2027 and 2029 picks." Man, you already traded the rest of your first round picks. Just trade your 2027 and 29 first round picks. That might eventually be something good because you're ripping your franchise apart.
That's
Um,
the thing is like it's all like if you're a franchise like the Lakers who won a couple years ago and then have been abysmal since, it's like you need to switch gears immediately. You don't go into like a slow, steady rebuild. You got to either go championship or go for broke. But you
yep.
can't go for broke multiple years in a row. Like so that's literally how you fail as a
See,
franchise.
yeah, the Lakers went from being the uh, NBA Finals champions in 2020
2020,
to
yeah.
being knocked out in 6 games to the Phoenix Suns, who eventually went to the NBA Finals that year. Um, and then
Yeah.
the season before, they were it was like the 11th seed. They were just barely out of the play-in tournament. And looking at them now, they're looking at a top 3 pick in the NBA draft if they keep it up. Um, it's just the management for the Lakers just can't seem to think in one scope or the other. Hey, we need to rebuild, or hey, we need to get players who will accompany the players we already have. They're getting guys that aren't producing in the manner in which they should be to accompany LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis. See, I I was a firm believer that they should have never traded for Westbrook because Westbrook would have never worked in that system. I've always thought of Westbrook as a fantastic player in OKC. Houston, he was good. Washington, he didn't have great shooting splits, but he was still averaging a triple double that year with Bradley Beal. They were knocked out the first round of the playoffs, and even then, that team was still pretty good. But you got to give Westbrook the ball in order for him to produce on a team like the Lakers, and that's just not what they're doing. And they traded all of their good role players away. Kuzma, um, yeah, no, a lot of role players they traded away to get Westbrook, and it's just bit them.
Man, R.I.P. Kuz.
He's playing pretty good in the Wiz too. The Wizards are fifth.
Oh no, no, I know, but I'm saying like again, another player who the Lakers really like end up losing out on that deal pretty bad.
Yeah,
They
no,
could have kept Kuzma. Not that Kuzma would have been the 30-point per game scorer he is, but I think I was impressed with Kuzma's ability to become a role player the way that he did.
yep.
Like he really did fit a niche that the Lakers really could have utilized more. It was just a matter of last season before he got traded, they weren't healthy. Like AD barely played at all in the season prior to Kuzma actually being
LeBron played
traded.
50 something games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it wasn't it definitely wasn't a recipe for success, but I just don't think Kuz leaving is the play. I don't think that was
Yeah.
how.
See, he went from. Oh goodness, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? So this season, he's currently averaging 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting decent from the field, 47% and 34 from three. But on the Lakers, when they were on their title run, he played 61 games. He only started in 9 of them. The man was averaging 13, 5, and 2 off the bench. The guy was a really good product off the bench for that team in their second unit, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna trade him away because he's starting to grow his trade value for someone like Westbrook, who, in an offense where there's already 2 players with high usage rates, they're gonna go and get a third guy with a even higher usage rate. It's just
Yeah.
baffling.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, has been stinking since he's been in LA.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's not good by any means, but he definitely. It just seems like his shot selection is just so
I
bad
just feel
most
like he hates
games.
being in LA, honestly. I just feel like he just does not, he can't, he doesn't care
Yeah, and
for it.
that's the thing is like we can't speak for him either, but like he definitely seemed to, at least like for his own statistical analysis of himself, like he seemed to be pretty good in the other places he's played in. Like again, the Rockets when he was still in OKC, trapped. We
Yeah,
all thought he wanted out, but like to be fair, like if his numbers are looking better in a system like that, he's probably happier there.
yeah. See, I'm looking at it now. Westbrook's averaged 16 and a half points per game, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. The lowest of his career so far, but he's been playing a lot of games off the bench. His 3-point percentage compared to his career is honestly astonishing. 36% this season compared to 30.6 throughout his career. In the last 10 games that they've played, he has averaged 18 points, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds. He's shooting 80% from the free throw line, and he's shooting 42% from three on a team in which everyone's like, okay, well, this team really sucks at shooting threes, which is true. They are not good at shooting threes.
Oh no, Jared Allen's not playing tonight. I knew he was hurt, but I'm sorry, I just pulled up fantasy
No,
because I
you're
had
good.
to
You're good.
check.
That's another thing we could definitely talk about is fantasy. Honestly, um, we had pretty much everyone in the league coming back healthy. Um,
Kawhi's still not. I just like to
well,
point that
yeah,
out, but
Kawhi's just not playing at all. He's just holding his own strike at this point.
yeah, which to be fair, like it's a situation when you have Kawhi on your team, that's something that you kind of have to understand at this point. If he doesn't feel like he's 100%, he's not going to play for you.
Yeah,
And I hope that doesn't set him at odds with like the coaching in LA, like it did with his coaching in San Antonio. But Kawhi might never play again in LA. Like he very well could get traded because he's trying to take more time
yeah.
off.
See,
But
he has played. I want to say he's played 2 games this season so far. 2 games.
it's no, I think it was more. I think he played
No, he's
three.
played. He's played 2 games so far. He's played 2 games. He's averaged 12 and a half points, 7 rebounds, two
Dang.
assists. Played 21 minutes. He's played 42 minutes so far this season. And, I mean, you got to attribute not the mediocrity because they haven't really been mediocre this season so far. They've been decent even with him out. A lot of
Yeah.
the Clippers' success and success and unsuccessfulness, rockiness for them has been the fact that pretty much their only two consistent players have been Paul George and Aviga Zubac. I mean, they traded for Norman Powell. Norman Powell's been not his true self, how he played last season, how he played in Portland before he got traded. Um, but he's supposed to be like that third guy for him. I really don't know about much else for the Clippers because I haven't really been paying attention to them as much
What
as other
about
teams.
Jackson? Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know what his numbers have been so far. Um, Let me pull that up real quick. He's averaging
I
10
do know Paul
points.
George has been hooping. I don't really pay much attention to the Clippers because I try not to as a Lakers fan.
Yeah.
They're
I
like the
mean,
last thing on my mind until we play. Then I'm like, oh, I hope we
oh
shit
yeah.
on them.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's how I would be if I was a Lakers fan too. I'd be like, bro, I could care less about the team who shares the same building as us, honestly.
exactly, dude, the team who literally shits where we eat.
Yeah. But no, Reggie Jackson, 10 points per game, shooting 29% from three, 39% from the field. Like, this is definitely not the Reggie Jackson that we're used to seeing for them. He's pretty good at performing, especially last season. He was pretty good for him.
Yeah,
Um, John Wall, he's averaging 12 and a half points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 44% from the field, but 24% from three. He
I
also
will
didn't.
say it has been good seeing John Wall play. I mean, he's not playing out of his mind, and he's definitely not like prime John Wall. But
Oh no.
considering how he's playing for how far he's come as a player through all these injuries, like I'd say I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, no,
I think he's definitely like a light, like a what's the word? Like a good source of inspiration, I guess.
yeah. I mean, he came back from multiple injuries. He came back to from being traded from Washington, which he held close, and the fans appreciate everything that he did for that franchise. He went to Houston, played a season, and then they didn't play him because his cap, and they wanted to trade him, and he just had just so much going on personally that it's honestly great to see him back in the game. It's great to watch him. I mean, I haven't been paying attention to the Clippers this season, but again, it's fantastic to see the guy back. He's not the player that he once was in Washington, where he was averaging 23 points and like 12 assists a game. Uh, Also, one of the best defensive perimeter guards in the league at that point too. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see him back, and I mean, again, it's pretty much been Paul George that's been holding that team together as they're 7-6 and 8th in the West right now.
Yes,
In the
sir.
early going,
Um, what seed are the Pelicans at the moment?
Pelicans are 7th. The Pelicans
Yeah.
are tied in 7th technically with the Clippers. Here it says Pelicans are 7th, and then the Clippers are 8th.
I
Um,
just I feel like I keep bringing them up, but it's because they're in just such a great position in terms of other teams. If you think about it, like they have a potential to make a deep run in the playoffs this year and immediately set up for next year. And on top of that, they also have very good draft potential for this upcoming draft for
yep,
next year.
they've
So
got
it puts them in such a good position to be like whatever move they need to make, they can make it, and they can feel comfortable doing it
Yeah, see, they've got a lot of sleeper plays. They got a lot of fantastic young guys. Herb
for sure.
Jones. They got
Oh,
Dyson
so good,
Daniels in the
dude.
draft. They got Jackson Hayes. They still got Zion Williamson, who just got back from injury.
Hmm. Who's
Brandon
also been
Ingram.
playing who's also been playing like the Zion we hoped we would get to see coming back from the long injury on his foot.
Yep. Larry Nance Jr.
He's been pretty impressive for sure.
Oh yeah, no, Zion Williamson's all. See, it's always good to watch the Pelicans because they have so many offensive threats. They've got good defense and Herb Jones. I don't think people bring it up enough, but Jonas Valanciunas is also a very under slept on big. Like in my opinion, he's a top 5 big in the league. Um,
Okay, I mean, I'm not
he's
gonna
like fifth
talk
for
right
me.
now. It's still too early in the season for me to say that for sure, but I would say like he definitely is respectable.
Yeah,
I
no.
can definitely see him being an argument for that.
See, he hasn't been on recently, but when
I'm
he's
really
on, he's
liking. I don't know
averaging.
if you saw, but I picked him up off of the waiver wire. He's been the only move I made so far this year. I picked up Nick Claxton, dude.
Oh yeah, Claxton's been good for the Nets, especially. That's another thing. The Nets have been on a resurgence since they fired Steve Nash and Kyrie's been suspended.
I don't
Um,
know how much the Steve Nash thing has to do with it. I will definitely say the Kyrie suspension's kind of weird because it just throws kind of like like a big question mark on the board for them. One, they play the Lakers tonight, so I'm pretty excited. I'll probably watch that game if I'm being honest.
yep,
And two, Nick Claxton, his numbers have been getting very steadily improved since Kyrie's not there, so he's obviously taking a bulk of those minutes that would be missed out on for
yep.
that rotation. But he's also like he's been impressive, dog. Have you
Cla-
been seeing his let me read some of his games to you the last couple games. 51, 25, 44, 59, 52, 27 is a little low, but then 60.
and this
Like
is off fantasy points, right?
sorry, yeah, that's fantasy value.
Oh no, you're.
Bro isn't out here scoring 60, but
Oh yeah, of course not.
he's playing good though.
Let's,
Like I'm pretty excited about it. I picked him up. I saw something on ESPN about it, and then I watched like further some YouTube videos that I keep watching for fantasy that are giving me really good advice,
yep.
and picked him up. He was like, he looks like he's pretty sick. He looks like he's going to be a pretty solid like point total each night, especially while Kyrie's hurt. So I thought that was a W.
Yeah, no, I mean, Claxton's been having some good games so far this season. 13 points and 14 rebounds against the Clippers. He had 10 and 14 against Dallas in their loss. He was one of the game's bright spots for the Nets.
Yeah.
18 and 9 against Washington. 10 and 10 against Chicago. He is a double guy. He is a guy who will get you those 10 rebounds a game. He's a guy who will get you those points in the paint. And he's the highest field goal shooter in the league right now in percentage,
Oh,
75.6%.
yeah, and on top of that, I'm pretty sure he's in the top maybe 4 or 5 for blocks per game. That might be cap, but
Oh yeah, he is also averaging 2.2 blocks per game, which is
that's pretty good.
yeah.
There might be somebody averaging like 3. Like Jared Allen might actually have more, and I also have him on my team. So how
Yeah,
many
no,
does
like
Jared Allen have?
yep.
No, he's only averaging 1.3. So,
Yep. Um
but
okay. Well, we talked about the Pelicans. Pelicans see a lot of the reason why they are only 7th in the West is because I'm pretty sure they have one of the hardest schedules in the Western Conference currently. That you got them, and then you've got the teams that are in the top of the Western Conference that have been the biggest surprises. The Utah Jazz to begin. They have for sure been the biggest surprise in the NBA thus far.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to agree. I don't. I think that's the thing that they have going for them now is that it's just such a surprise to see them being a bunch of more or less random talents across the league thrown together. They're not a team that has an all-star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen's playing like one, but has he ever even been an all-star?
No, no. He's
So
been a
that's
guy who's been playing off the bench pretty much. He's like their 6th or 7th man in the rotations for the Cavs. I don't
exactly. And when
remember
he
a
came in,
rotation.
he was talented. Like it was never like a question of like, could this guy be really good? Of course, but
Yep.
like an all-star level, like he's playing pretty consistently well.
See, he's been consistent in scoring. He's been consistent in scoring. He's been consistent in his ability to get rebounds. Throughout his career leading up into Cleveland, he averaged what let's see where I can't find it. See his seasons in which he's played with Cleveland, not Cleveland, Chicago. 15 points, 19 points, 15 points and 14 points per game in those seasons, and he's played an average of about 55 games in those 3 seasons each season. So, he's
Definitely injury prone, would you say?
uh yeah.
Like 55 is like one of LeBron's lowest seasons.
Yep.
Not to categorize him in the level with LeBron, but you know what I mean? Like that's a pretty good representation. The dude's been playing NBA since he was as old as years he's been in. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and he's also been a starter in a lot of the games too. He started in 270 of his 296 games thus far throughout his 6 seasons in the league. Um,
That's pretty good. That's
he's
pretty consistent.
yeah, he's shooting 53% from the field, which is his highest mark throughout his entire career. He's shooting 34% from three, which is decent for a guy his size at 7 foot.
Mhm.
Um, he's shooting
Is he a
88%.
true 7 footer? Is he actually 7 feet tall?
Yeah, he's 7 foot. He's 7 foot, 240, 7 foot, 240 pounds.
Dang. Does he
Um,
play any center position? Is that
I'm
all he
sure. I'm
plays?
sure he runs the big in certain rotations, but as of right now, I feel like he plays the 4. I'd have to look at their depth chart for the Jazz, but I'm sure he plays the 4 or 5 in that rotation.
I've always thought he was a 5.
Yeah,
So
no, he's looked like a
or
5.
sorry, my bad. I always thought he was a 4. I did not know he was a 7 footer, bro.
See,
I
I've
have a really cool basketball card of his. Completely unrelated, but
yep,
I just
that's pretty cool.
I've been a little bit like a low key fan since I had that card because I was like, it's a pretty cool card. It'd be fire if he was, the next Steph Curry. But like, I did not know he was 7 feet tall, dude. That's crazy.
No, he fits really well in the 4. He fits really well in the 4 because, I mean, if you're playing the 5, you're gonna have to be a guy who gets rebounds a lot, and his average throughout his career is only 7 rebounds per game. So you gotta look at that and be like, he's probably more of a 3 or a 4 because of his ability to get to the paint, ability to shoot from distance, mid range, and
Yeah,
three.
for
Um,
sure.
but he's been really good. He's getting the most minutes per game throughout his career as of now. He's shooting his best field goal percentage. He's shooting his best free throw percentage throughout his career. Most points per game throughout his career. Um, he's only half a rebound short of his career high in rebounds throughout a season, but he's also averaging his most assists, most blocks per
I was gonna
game.
say, and I think another thing about him playing the power forward position more than the center is that he'll actually be able to get out on transition a little bit, and I think that's why he's been so effective.
That's why they've been so
He's been
good
able
too.
to he's been able to run in transition and get those open looks, and if not, his assist numbers go up to counter, his rebounds go down a little bit. I think that's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely, like you said, like a very bright spot on a surprisingly bright team.
Yeah, I mean you can't expect one guy to get literally every rebound, every assist, every basket. I mean, that's something that a unicorn like Luka Doncic is doing, but that's Luka Doncic though. That's a guy
Yeah.
who's seasoned.
Yeah,
I mean,
as a matter of fact, my early season MVP is going to be 100% Luca. I think the only argument at this point would have been Giannis, and Giannis is injured, and I don't think this injury is like super severe or
no, he'll
anything,
be
but
back in
like
a couple games for sure.
I just think it limits him a little bit. I think he might be a little bit more hesitant just simply knowing his knee was bothering him. If he's not, Giannis is good for Giannis could have a 40-10 or like a 40-12 and 12 game every night, and I wouldn't be surprised.
No, no. See,
Like the dude is just unstoppable on the court in every aspect.
there is like 4 or 5 guys you wouldn't be surprised to get a double double every night. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, uh, Nikola Jokic,
For sure. Joel Embiid.
Joel
Wait,
Embiid.
are you saying double double or triple
Triple
double?
double, triple double. Not
Oh, triple
necessarily
double.
Joel Embiid because he's
Yeah.
getting you about 10, 15 rebounds a game, but he's not going to get you 10 or 15 assists per game. He will take from time
Yeah.
to time. Tyrese Halliburton is in
Especially
that category now of a guy who I wouldn't be surprised who would get you a triple double.
I respect it. I wish I could put Westbrook on the list, but unfortunately, with him not starting now, especially, he's just not going to get the minutes, I don't think, to be putting up those numbers.
He's not
He
going to get the
might.
minutes, but he's going to get the usage and the touches in the second unit as the sixth man. He currently, from what I see, I feel like he is the current sixth man of the year front runner, like in that top three for the sixth man of the year. But again, he's not the Westbrook that we're used to seeing because of his decreased role on the Lakers team. So,
Yeah,
but
that
no,
honestly
Luka
makes sense.
Doncic, early MVP candidate. Yeah, I would put him in that category. I'd put him. I'd put Giannis. I'd put Jason Tatum. I'd put Jason Tatum in that category too. Him, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic. I'd put Donovan Mitchell in that category too. He's been impressive for a third-seeded Cavs team too. But yeah, those guys are early MVP candidates. There's a lot of people who say Curry is. The stats back it up. The stats are for sure there because he's doing better this season than he's ever done in his entire career. But the last time we saw an MVP on a team in which the team was lacking but the player wasn't was Russell Westbrook when he averaged the first triple double since Oscar Robertson.
Yeah.
This is something we see
Was
every year.
was that
from
Westbrook MVP? Was that
Oh.
Westbrook MVP unanimous?
No, it wasn't unanimous. The last unanimous MVP was Curry back in
And that, was that the
2014
only
15.
ever unanimous MVP?
I don't think it was the only unanimous MVP. It's up there as one of the few, but it's definitely not a unanimous MVP vote.
Okay.
The only one.
I
But
was just I did never
I
I've
would
never actually like looked into that, but I
Yeah,
was just
I'd have to look
curious.
into it. The Warriors, they're struggling not because of Curry. Curry's been the bright spot on that team. There's still the looming issues which Warriors fans and the organization themselves will be like, no, that's already been sorted out. The Jordan Poole and Draymond Green incident is definitely a looming factor and one of the reasons why the Warriors have been struggling so much. Their defense have, which usually is top 10 in the league, has been measly as of recent. Um, Opponent points per game is 30th. They are last in the league in allowing teams to score on them. They're sixth in points per game, third in assists per game, but they're just allowing teams to score too much on them. In transition, uh, on threes, it's just their defense is not good this season.
That's too bad. I mean,
Yeah, it's too bad because it then makes it so then a lot of people, especially me, are like, Curry, yeah, he's an MVP candidate, but he's not going to win the MVP because his team is 12th in the Western Conference.
yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I just want to interrupt you real quick and let you know I actually stopped streaming. I'm getting a notification on OBS that it's saying encoding overloading.
Yep.
So I'm assuming that it's just I don't
Yeah,
know.
it
I
just
don't know what's
popped
going
up with a
on, but
notification saying that you went live. Um, that happens sometimes. I'm not sure why it happens, but there is times where it will pull up. That do you have? Let me pull up settings real quick. So, what's your video bitrate set as in your
video
settings?
on
It should be under output.
uh what did you
File.
ask for?
So go to
Bit.
file, then go to settings,
Yeah.
go to output. What's your video bitrate set as?
6,000
Set it
kbps.
set it to 4,000. I always set mine to 4,000.
Okay.
It's encoding overloading because it's requiring too many resources. That's why it's doing it. So you want to set it to about 4,000. That's always a good setting for Twitch. YouTube, it doesn't matter because YouTube has 4K capabilities for streaming now, but Twitch is cheap. So, yeah.
What does Twitch offer? Is it still just
Twitch only
1080p?
offers 7,000 or 8,000 bitrate for streams and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, either way, I'm gonna take. I don't know. I don't want to be done necessarily, but I'm gonna give up on that, and we can go back to the podcast. I just wanted to let you know really quick
Yeah,
that,
you're
and thank
good,
you
man.
for. I might try and boot it up again at some point. It's only 7 o'clock. I was planning on playing for a while for sure, so
Yeah. Yeah,
probably
that'd
till
be
at
fun.
least 9:30, 10. So, but anyway,
Yeah, no,
back to the issues at hand.
you're good. I mean, I'm recording it anyway. I'm not streaming it. I'll probably start streaming them at some point, but I'm not going to stream them until I have a good enough setup to do, well, not a computer setup, but just like the environment setup to do
For
it.
sure.
But
Well, like you said, if you're gonna save it and send it, like I don't know, even just save a recording and send it into like the Discord if you want, and then I'll gladly go back and rewatch it. I'm sure I could learn some stuff from it as well.
yeah.
You know,
Oh,
things I need to fix, like not interrupting you to tell you that my stream
I mean, I'm
sucks.
doing it. I'm doing it too. I keep trying to do like counter arguments and stuff to like things you're mentioning. So I mean, it's something we'll get to. I mean, it's the first episode of the podcast, man. It's the first episode, and we're
Yeah,
like
dude.
40 minutes into it. Like, it's all good. We'll get to that point. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm going back into my notes real quick. We already discussed the surprise. We discussed the Utah Jazz being the biggest surprise in the league.
Correct.
If
Yeah.
Cheese was here, he would have already mentioned Portland. He would have mentioned Portland for half the podcast already. Let's be honest.
Yeah, dude, that's true. But then again, you can only lick Damian Lillard's shaft so many times.
True, true. Um,
And we all know Cheese would do the absolute most he was allowed.
oh damn. Yep. That's true. That's true. Um, okay. So the question I was gonna ask earlier, So what are the three biggest surprises for you so far this season? I know we already discussed the Jazz being a surprise, but that's just in general. Like, to you, what are the three biggest surprises?
Um, okay, that's pretty solid. I'll be honest, I haven't paid too much attention to things kind of outside of like my favorite player and or my favorite team and then a couple of my favorite players. So I guess the only things I'll really be able to talk about are more or less those connected to those.
Yep.
So the Lakers being really bad, I think is traumatic. I didn't really expect them to be this bad. Like I didn't expect them to be even necessarily 500 at this early point in the season, but to see them literally only winning two games is kind of like sad.
Yep. No, I
Like
get that.
seeing that they are not only like one of the worst teams in the league, they're borderline the worst record right now. And
Yeah,
it's
pretty much.
over 10 games in. It's pretty bad. So that sucks. But secondly, I would definitely say is also the Warriors just not being good after winning the finals. I think it's almost like unredeemable if they don't go 500 this season. I think they get looked at as that team who had a dynasty and now is nothing.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna make a counter argument to that because the Golden State Warriors, they did just win a championship. Yeah, there's that. They just won a championship. Then the whole Draymond Green and Jordan Poole incident was flooding the news. ESPN, it was flooding the
That's also
NBA.
just off-season NBA though. That happens every off-season. It was Kevin Durant the month before that. Like they will try to pick teams apart in the off-season because there's
No.
no actual basketball to be played. But when it comes down to just playing and the teams sorted out in like, regular NBA fashion, not having a shitty record, the Warriors aren't doing that.
Yeah, it's just all kinds of things that are leading to it. Like they suck on defense. Again, as I was saying earlier, they're allowing 119 points per game, which is the highest mark in the league for teams. They're dead last in allowing teams to score on them. So that's just not good in that regard. They just gotta ramp up their offense, and then the players, the young guys like Jordan Poole and uh, not like Moses Moody and stuff. They need to improve if that Warriors team wants to improve as well. The Warriors, they had their offseason drama. The Nets had their two best players with offseason drama. Kyrie wanting to leave and then deciding to stay, and then Kevin Durant requesting a trade and then deciding to stay. Then you've got Steve Nash who got fired, Kyrie Irving with the quote unquote anti Semitic comments and
You forgot the
watching
best one
video.
of all, dude. No, never mind.
No, 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 say it, say it. You gotta say
I
it
was gonna
now.
say Blake Griffin having a porn starts, baby.
That's Boston, though. He's on Boston, bro.
Yeah, but he wasn't on Boston when it
When it
happened.
happened,
He
yeah.
was definitely still in New York, dog. That was a full almost year ago.
Bruh, just the memes that came from that. Like, bro, Blake Griffin's athleticism plus Lena Rhodes' ability to play with balls. You got a freaking superstar right there. That's just savage. That's savage, but also really fucked up. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but at the same time, it's like, bro, what do you expect with that kind of publicity? Like, not necessarily front page of the news unless it's viral for it like this, but
yep. I wouldn't
yeah,
necessarily say that the Lena Rhodes and Blake Griffin stuff is viral because I mean Blake Griffin isn't the player that he once was on the Clippers, and he isn't in the environment that he was with the Clippers. Because I mean, let's be honest, L.A. is the super city for sports. New York is big, but not it's not even remotely close to L.A. in regards to
oh,
sports publicity.
bro, I just got an update and that explains it. I was about to tell you, I don't know if you happen to see like game updates at all, but
Yep.
Cleveland's playing Minnesota right now. They're at half. They're down 20.
Minnesota.
No, Cleveland.
Cleveland's down 20.
Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen are sitting out with ankle injuries.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so I don't know
That's
if you
probably
happen to
why Garland
see
has 38 fantasy points for me currently. Good
for
lord.
sure. The rest of Cleveland's probably just doing their best to not get their complete,
Yeah.
blowout, but it's looking pretty rough, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Down Down 17. Like,
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing I gotta bring up. The Timberwolves so far this season. The trade happened. Everyone's like, "Bro, this team is gonna be pretty good with two bigs." I've had this discussion with people outside of Minnesota. A lot of people were expecting that this team would be kind of in shambles to start the season. They are 5-8 currently. Yeah, they're up 20 on one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, but who knows? They might blow that lead. And the Cavs are without again two of their best players in D. Mitch and Jarrett. So
yeah. The only, like we had already talked about with the Cavs, dude, I think the Cavs being very good is also, I don't want to say it's a surprise because I was hoping that would be this way, but how good of a trade this ended up being for Cleveland versus the Jazz.
yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that a lot of people expected that this Cleveland Cavaliers and Jazz trade would be more significant for the Jazz and the Cavs, but I feel like for both franchises, I feel like it was significant for both of them because now you have the Cleveland Cavaliers who are third in the Eastern Conference, who are very good and have a very deep team out of nowhere. They were deep last year, but not as deep as they are this season. Utah Jazz benefited more from the Gobert trade, in my personal opinion, and having a new coaching system rather than the trade to Cleveland. I mean, it benefited both teams because now Utah has draft picks from Cleveland, but they got more significance out of their trade with the Timberwolves than they got significance out of the Cavs because they got rid of Gobert, which I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say is the big reason why the Timberwolves are struggling. It's just because they're trying to get their offensive and defensive schemes together with two guys who are over 7 foot in their starting lineup.
Yeah,
Um,
two,
and then,
two,
yep.
two like pretty good defensive bigs too.
Yeah. I mean,
I
Carl
don't,
Anthony
I
Towns
don't.
is. Go ahead, go
Uh,
ahead.
I,
No, you're
I
good.
was gonna say Karl Anthony Towns is definitely not as good as Rudy Gobert defensively, but Rudy Gobert is definitely nowhere near as good as Karl Anthony Towns offensively. So it kind of balances out in that regard.
Yeah. And I mean, Carl Anthony Towns has improved significantly since he got into the league. Rudy Gobert has too, but I feel like his Rudy Gobert's offensive repertoire hasn't improved as much as Carl Anthony Towns' defense. So you can attribute that to that as well. Okay, and then back to that question about the three biggest surprises. What's your third biggest surprise?
Um, let's see here. Oh, actually,
You
low
talked about the
key.
Lakers and the Warriors already being mediocre this season.
So again, I'll relate this back to my fantasy team. Uh, the Nuggets. I think that they've been playing pretty good. I think Jamal Murray being completely healthy, which is so close, dude. Like he's been ramping up to minutes. I think he might have played 30 the other night for the first time this season.
Yep.
35. He played 32, 30, and then 35, and he's steadily been going up in fantasy points because he did not start the season good for me. But once he's fully healthy, that Nuggets team is going to be scary, dude. I'm telling you right now, Jokic is an absolute animal.
Yeah. See, when Jamal Murray gets back to the way he was playing in the bubble against Donovan Mitchell, um, he gets back to the significance he had for that team. They're a deep team. They're a very deep team. They're one of the deepest teams in the Western Conference.
And they got
Um,
my boy Bones off the bench.
and yep, Bones Island's off the bench too. He's a significant player offensively and defensively as well. Um, it's just
I
that
just,
yeah.
oh, sorry, I was just
No,
saying, I
you're
just
good.
love his name, dude. Bones Highland.
I mean, he's a good player for them though. He's good.
For sure. Oh no, and he's looking a lot better this season. Like he definitely has grown a lot in the off season. You can just tell. Like him and his like flashy pass package he picked up from Jokic.
You know,
He's behind the back, like no look passes he's been throwing and getting in highlights and shit. I feel like that's something that I really like about the Nuggets is when they string together like a passing sequence, the only like it's just very few teams have that where like the entire five can pass. And I feel like the Nuggets might be one of those teams.
Yep.
Depending on who they, if depending again, like when Jamal Murray's fully healthy, Jokic in the center, and Michael Porter Jr. on the wing, it's a pretty good big three right there.
Bro, I'm just looking at this. Draymond Green had 2 points, 9 rebounds, and 13 assists against the Cavs the other night. That's
He
Draymond's just
also
so.
had 6 fouls. Did you happen to see the end of the game, Tommy?
Yeah,
Because I was
see,
watching
I
it
heard
before the Lakers game, and it was so stupid, dog.
See, I heard
It,
I heard all kinds of different things about that Cavs Warriors game. There was the Warriors fans that were like, okay, yeah, the Cavs were bailed out by fouls all game, and then there was a picture of one of the fans like super depressed about the Warriors taking the lead, and then you have the moving screen that Klay Thompson set for Curry. Two things could have happened on that play. First off, Donovan Mitchell, instead of trying to go right of that screen, he could have gone left with that screen. And Klay Thompson, I mean, he played all right that game, but I couldn't see Klay Thompson making that shot if Curry passed out of it. He could have also had other guys rotating too. It was just a miscommunication between Karis LeVert and Donovan Mitchell, and then also, it's definitely a move. That was definitely a moving screen, without a doubt. That was a moving screen, and it was just ridiculous to watch that screen not get called. Because Karis LeVert
yeah.
went tried to go over that screen to play Curry on the three, and Clay went left with Karis while moving that screen. So yeah, no, it was kind of ridiculous. But I mean, there's always going to be those times where there's no calls. Um,
I don't even necessarily remember that part of the game. I was super interested though, because the very like I'm talking like so it was a 3 point game, and Donovan Mitchell went in for a layup, and while he was driving in, literally stepped on his ankle wrong and rolled his own ankle, and
mhm.
then caused contact with Draymond, and they decided, and then he fell, like
Yep.
Jamal Murray fell, or not Jamal Murray, sorry,
Donovan.
Donovan Mitchell fell, and as he fell, they called a foul. Like literally, he hits the ground and kind of rolls, and then they blow the whistle, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to go review this one." So they review it, and then they still called a foul and fouled
They
out
still call a
Draymond.
foul on Draymond Green. Yeah. See, again, that's what I was mentioning when Warriors fans were
It
like,
was really
okay, there was a
bad.
lot of calls going the Cavs' way, and then the Warriors got a call to not get called. But I mean, there's always going to be those games where a team gets every call. Games where there's going to be no calls, and then there's going to be games where it's just, oh, hey, this happened, or we're going to miss this call, this happened. But yeah, no. Um,
It was the announcer was talking about it before the game. They'd mentioned that the Cavs had just come off of like 3 straight away games. I think they played the Clippers, and then I think they played the Lakers maybe, and then they were having this game against
They played Golden State on the
against Golden
road.
State.
Okay, that's Milwaukee. They play Milwaukee coming up. They played.
Oh, it was Sacramento. It was the Lakers, the Clippers, Sacramento, and Golden State all away right in a row because
Yep.
they're doing like a West Coast like little trip. He said, and like they play those 4 teams right in a row. The first two being back to
They went on a
back.
5 game road trip. They
Yeah, and
played
he
the
was like,
Pistons.
and he was
They
talking about the end of the game being like them basically having to kind of step over each other,
Yeah.
like
Yes. See, they played Detroit. No, the Pistons. They beat them by a little over 20 points. They beat the Lakers by 14. Then they stay at Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, which the name will probably get changed. I mean, FTX FTX went bankrupt, and now you've got Bang Bros literally filing to try to get a deal with Miami for the Heat Stadium.
I think it was Cheese and I talking about that last night, dude.
Bro,
It
just
was
imagine that Bang Bros Arena.
she's asked me what he would do if that happened to the Lakers. I was like, bro, first thing we do is we sign Johnny Sins to a 10 day.
Yeah, if you don't sign Johnny Sins to a 10-day contract, if you have Bang Bros as your court's affiliate, then you're not doing something right for sure. Um,
Exactly.
they lose to the
Exactly.
Clippers by 2. I think that was the game in which Paul George went kind of crazy with it. Um, Marcus Morris played good. Paul George. See, they had 6 players in double digits that game. Two, three, four. Cavs had 6 players in double digits that game. Mitchell had 30. Mobley had 26. Karis LeVert struggled, and Garland also shot not so great from 3 that game. But they went on a 5 game road trip. Their 6th game, I'm pretty sure, is tonight. They're playing their six. Nope, nope. They're playing at home tonight. But they went 2-3. And talking about road trips, that's another thing about the Warriors that they struggled with is the fact they went on a 6 game road trip and did not win a single game on the road. That's the
Yeah.
first time in NBA history that has
Oh
occurred.
God. Wait, really?
Yes, that's the first time in NBA history a team has gone on a 6 game road trip and lost all 6 games.
That's tough. I mean, it's gonna happen to anyone though. It's gonna happen to the best team last year, right?
Yep, odd
No,
day
it's
enough.
definitely not a good look. That's all I'm saying about them is it's not a good look that you're coming into the season playing really bad,
Yeah,
especially defensively, because that's like what you're supposed to be there for. Obviously, you have Steph Curry, who's probably the complete opposite of that, the greatest offensive player of all time. But
yep,
like,
greatest shooter of all time.
yeah,
Okay, and then back to the questions that I had made up earlier. I'm not gonna ask this one because I know the Lakers have been fucking. It's just been struggling to find a rhythm. The
yeah.
question
The
originally was asking in the early going, what has you excited for your favorite team the most? But I mean, the Lakers are 2-10. Like, what can you really be excited about other than hopefully the entire team being healthy?
If Cheese were in here, I'd say I would wish that none of them had a weak stomach like Dame. But since Cheese isn't in here, I'm not even gonna get into that.
You know,
Um, is your question directed more at the Lakers?
no, my question was directed. Oh yeah, it was more directed as a fan of your favorite team. So like for example, if I was speaking on the fact that I was a fan of Boston, it's just the fact that Tatum and Jalen Brown have been significantly greater this season than they were last season, and they're both putting up pretty much 30-point games each night. They're pretty much this season's early best duo for what I believe in. They're both averaging fantastic numbers in the scoring column.
Yeah, and dude, and Udoka isn't even giving him hand massages anymore.
Yeah, he should be giving hand massages in Brooklyn, but the NBA refuted that one.
That's true. Kevin Durant's like, all I need is a man to rub my shoulders before I go in, telling me it'll be okay.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be something he'd be going for with Kyrie for, dude. Be like, hey, let's not try to trigger an audience again, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
And then Kyrie would be like, "Hey, stand back! Don't make me hate crime you."
oh god, damn.
Is that not like what we've pretty much established about Kyrie at this point? Like,
See, I feel like a lot of what Kyrie says is misinterpreted. I feel like a lot of what he's saying is just in general stuff that again just is misinterpreted. Um,
I know,
I
but
don't
it's
know
like,
about.
dude, how long will it take him to just learn to leave those bold takes to the side? I feel like he makes them at the worst times. He makes them when his team's gone on like a long losing skid. He'll just get a little too mouthy, I feel like. There's just no need for some of the stuff he says is just so like out of pocket sometimes.
See, I was trying to find
I
something.
think this might have been taken out of context, especially blown out of proportion, because this was not that bad, from what I can understand. But like, he definitely did not like. He definitely had to know there was going to be some pretty harsh scrutiny of him posting something with anti-Semitism in it. Whether it was referencing the text or not is different.
Yeah.
Like, no, but nobody just goes on fucking like completely honestly, nobody just goes on Twitter and just retweets like Schindler's List and is like, "This is a great film." Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a cultural movement, but like people, it's something that you should like maybe sit down and like discuss in like long form, like a podcast. Get your actual ideas about it. I feel like posting it on social media is very like, take a hit of this dopamine and move on. Somebody sees the title and knows that it's got like very like anti-Semitic language in it, probably gonna get looked into and
Yeah.
focused on the negativity because it's media.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Since
Like Kyrie's a good guy. I
yeah,
genuinely think he is, but I think sometimes he pushes the envelope a little bit too much. And
yeah.
I
When
don't
you're
know.
in the league, literally, and especially nowadays, like if he was playing 25 years ago and was pushing again the envelope on things that he believes in, like it wouldn't be as bad as it is now because we're living in a media age where literally everything is freaking put online within seconds and people are reacting to it within minutes, and then hours later everyone's hearing all about it, and it just
Yeah.
causes this wave effect. But
And
yeah.
you're gonna get caught up in the wave, like regardless, either subconsciously or not, like you're gonna be a part of the culture
Yeah.
unless you completely isolate yourself, which is probably not a good thing to do. So
Yeah, no, I definitely I get that.
I just feel like in the digital age that we literally live in, like everybody has some form of communication, and if they don't, then like good for them, I guess. But like you have to have some sort of attachment. You could not be attached to your phone. That's completely different. Like I'm not saying everybody has an iPad walking around glued to their face. This isn't fucking Wally, but
Yeah. Yeah, no,
this is Walmart.
this is Walmart, where half of the U.S. population is in fucking wheelchairs, dude. Little scooters, dude. Put little fucking engines on them, start running people over in Walmart, dude. With your fucking six
Yeah.
hundred pound
Um,
scooters.
Bro, we should that's something that if I ever start a podcast, I'm just gonna call it This is Walmart.
Bro, just air the podcast with your phone in Walmart. Just get like an engine into like one of those little freaking scooters and just drive around and talk to people. Just talk to random people in Walmart. Be like,
I mean,
hey, dude, just like you.
yeah, dude. What's up, dude? This is a podcast. Thanks for coming. Like, bro, I'm in the freezer section of Walmart. Shut up.
Bro, just hide in the freezers. Just ask where the Walmart employees, hey, is there any chance I could hide in the freezer and just scare all the people out off their freaking motorized carts? But no, going back to the Nets though, they're 5-2 since they fired Steve Nash and Kyrie Irving hasn't played, which is a far cry from what they started as. Which is
Jesus, that tangent has me sent.
no, dude. That's the next project. Fucking, I'll just fly down for a few days on a vacation, and I'll just fucking air a Walmart video where we just fucking prank Walmart
Bro,
customers.
yo, in all honesty, like I'm really excited for you to get to come down.
I'll definitely have to
Jess
do it at
and
some point.
Jess and I are trying to plan something, maybe not this winter, but next winter when we're doing our wedding around like New Year's.
Yep.
We were thinking about having the whole squad come down a couple days after Christmas because, like, obviously, like your fam,
Yep.
like have all you guys come down and we just chill for a little bit, get ready for the thing together. I'm still trying to pull it together because we got to find out exactly how many people we're gonna invite because it's pretty much like a travel down to the wedding then and there kind of
Yep.
situation. But like obviously it also depends on who has the availability to come down a little bit early
It's
like
also
that.
it's also definitely around a time where everyone is flying back home from visiting with family and stuff. So airway
Yeah.
flights are definitely a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Traffic's definitely at an all-time high. I don't know how the weather's going to be in 2023 because you got to think about it now. Right now in
Dog, I don't
Vermont,
even know what it is tomorrow, bro.
bro, today was actually decent. The last couple of weeks, you would think that it would be snowing up here. It has just been nice weather. There's been rain on and off, but we have not gotten snow yet. Hopefully, we don't get snow, but it's just been
We haven't got it
ridiculous.
either. It's weird, dude. And Florida's been getting murdered with hurricanes.
Yep.
I say that word loosely because like people are probably dying.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
guys, we joke about death due to freaking weather. Yes.
Yeah, this is the Death Podcast where we we talk about dying.
1,000 ways to die from hurricanes. Fucking
One ways they lift you in the air, and another ways they drop you back down.
petting fucking crocodiles in your backyard accidentally bites your hand off mid fucking circle, mid eye of the hurricane.
Yeah, there we go. We're getting we're already getting the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
No, I definitely it's been weird here too. Like so it's been really warm here for sure. We had like I think it was like 80 degrees like 2, 3 days ago, and then now it's down to it was like 30 degrees all day today. It didn't rain again, but we were seeing like little snow flurries yesterday while I was at work,
Mm.
and I was like, it went from being 80 to like 30 and snowing. Like that can't be good.
Yeah. No, yeah, weather is just weird right now in the US. There's spots where it's super hot. We're getting cold flashes here, but like we've had 60-degree days in November when it should be like 40 or 30 degrees right now on average.
Yeah,
It's just
so is this climate change or is this
we're all gonna fucking die.
I don't know. Like maybe it's Russia. I'm just
maybe
kidding.
it's maybe it's Russia invading Ukraine.
Jeez. I don't know if we should touch on that subject
No,
or
we
not.
shouldn't. We shouldn't touch on
Okay,
that
okay.
subject. We shouldn't touch on that.
Uh Go
Okay.
on
So
to
back to the basketball stuff. It's getting a little off topic here, which I mean it's fine. It's a little bit funny. We get a little bit of a comedic effect here. So the other question, another one of the questions I was going to ask is the teams that have been starting off slow. Which teams do you think have the best case to turn it around and eventually be like one of the top 4, top 5 seeds in their respective conferences? Personally, for me, I think Golden State once they kick the rust off, them.
yeah,
Um,
they just gotta trim the fat, right? They just gotta go around and fire all the fat people.
damn, we're back to Walmart again.
Jesus, man. No. No, it's from Horrible Bosses. I don't know if you've ever seen that
I
movie,
have
but it's
watched
one
Horrible
of the
Bosses. I have watched
it's
Horrible Bosses. It's good.
That's one of the best scenes of the whole movie.
Yeah. Golden State, Minnesota Timberwolves, in my personal opinion, for the Western Conference, is the two teams that could improve the most after kicking off the rust. And then for the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat and the 76ers are tied in 8th with the Bulls, the Nets, and the Knicks. There's like 5 teams that are 6 and 7 currently. Um,
Well, I can almost guarantee the Knicks are out because just simply because it's the
It's
Knicks.
the Knicks. Yeah, they're gonna start off okay, and then they're just gonna shit the bed. R.J. Barrett's
They're
gonna really
they're gonna
shoot.
have a they're gonna have a situation where they need to win like 3 games out of the next 20 just to get like the bottoms like the sixth seed and not have to do the play-in. And they're they're gonna like miss it and they're gonna lose like 19 of their last 20 and they
Yeah,
get kicked out of the playoffs altogether.
they'll lose
Like,
like 9 straight games, win like 1, maybe 2, and then they'll go on another 9 game losing streak, and they'll be like, "Oh damn, we're in the play-in now," and then just get
yeah,
wiped off the freaking charts.
yeah. It's I just feel like with the Knicks, it's just so expected at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they got a
Dude,
good depth chart, but it's just the Knicks. They're just
I
cursed.
know. They lost tonight to OKC by 10.
Well,
And
Shea
they let
Gilgeous is another
up,
MVP candidate, though. He's been
but it,
pooping.
yes, but it wasn't even an OT, and they let up 145 points, Tommy.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You cannot do that. I get it's OKC, and I get like SGA's going off, but I'm not even going to try and pronounce his
I
name
mean, he
right
had
now.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander had 37 points, 8 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He had 6 turnovers, but he shot 60% from the field tonight and 67 from 3. Like, the guy was playing like crazy. He's been playing like crazy all season. Um,
Yeah.
I this season so far, his lowest scoring game was 18 points, and it was against the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the best team in the league right now. So
Yeah. No, you're right.
yeah,
I like to see the fact that you were talking about the Warriors, and you said the second one was going to be that
uh,
little
the
that little
Timberwolves.
pocket in the middle, that little pocket in the middle of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, yeah, that's always an unknown. Is like 7 through 10 in the Eastern Conference. Well, actually, the Wizards are 7-6. The Pacers are 6-6. Raptors 7-7. Bulls 6-7. Nets 6-7. There is 8 teams that are between 7-6 and 6-7 right now, which is crazy.
Dang,
1 second.
Have you seen Scotty?
that's definitely a
There
good
he is.
amount.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's how the
Um,
Western Conference was at the end of last season. That like they
it
were
was.
just flip-flopping up until the last like week of games, pretty much like their the actual seeding.
I mean, there's 6 or 7 teams between 7-5 and 5-7 right now. Between Dallas being the 6th seed and the Warriors being the 12th. That's only like a two. That's only a 2 game difference right there. And in the Eastern Conference, it's a game and a half a game difference. Where
Yeah,
there's actually no, it's a full game difference between 7 teams.
yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But this has definitely been the season where we haven't seen a team be a complete outlier compared to the rest of the league. Yeah, there's the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Jazz, but they're still relatively close to their predecessors in the league too. We haven't seen a season like this in a while where we've had one team far and away better than the rest of the league, which is
Yeah,
nice. It's good for
it's
competitive.
also it's also still pretty early into the season to kind of see that
Yeah.
trend in terms of the, if you think about the actual distribution of the league, it's definitely very solid. I will say that. The whole like super team thing, I really do think there's too many generationally good players in the NBA at this point that like
That
the
you
NBA
can't
is such
make a
a
super
deep
team.
league.
You
It really is a deep league. You can make a super team, but you can't have like
I just
you're
don't
gonna
think
have
it'll
other
compete
super
as much
teams to
though.
compete. Exactly.
It
Exactly.
won't compete as much though as it used to like 10, 15 years ago. Um you got just there's 25 players this season. 25 players pretty much the last couple of seasons that can make a case for being one of the top players in the league, top 5 players in the league. It's just so hard to narrow that because of how competitively good each player is in their respective teams and conferences.
For sure.
Um,
Absolutely. Um, I was just gonna ask. I'm looking at like this the scores and everything. It says I accidentally clicked home with the NBA and there's an article right at the top that says Matt Ryan, not the QB, was just driving for DoorDash. Now he's in a Lakers jersey. That doesn't make me feel any better about their
Wait, on
season
NBA.com?
on ESPN.
Oh, on ESPN. Oh, shoot. I gotta see this. I gotta see this. Oh my god. For NBA. I love that though because literally everyone in Boston was like, "Bro, we got Matt Ryan, the guy who blew a 28-3 lead to the Patriots." And then you've got him now on the Lakers like, "Oh yeah, no, he's not the QB. He's not the quarterback who's literally been benched at this point in Indianapolis cuz he's throwing too many picks." But this why would they name the article this Matt Ryan not the QB was
That's what
just
I'm saying.
driving for DoorDash, now he's in a Lakers jersey. The forward regularly gets mistaken for the NFL quarterback and hasn't even received his first Laker paycheck yet, but he has found an opportunity of a lifetime with Los Angeles. This is, oh my
Yeah, that's such a random article.
god.
But
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah, the I was just gonna say, I think one thing I wanted to ask you, Tommy,
Yep.
going for the like, I guess like the the best players from last year's rookie class.
Yep.
Who do you think has been some of the more surprising ones? I mean, I will definitely say I think Evan Mobley may have been my rookie of the year if I could go looking back. I feel like he has been playing absolutely incredible on this Cavs team, and he really did show that he was this player last year. It just took him a little bit longer to get going.
See, I think personally, um, I think as of this year, I think the most surprising, not necessarily negatively, but not really positively either, has been Scotty Barnes. He was the rookie of the year last year, and this year his stats are lower than what his stats were last season. He's garnering more assists per game, but his rebound numbers are down. His 3 point shooting numbers are up, but his field goal percentage is down by a whopping 6%, and his points per game is down. While I mean his minutes are down, but those that Scotty Barnes was the rookie of the year last year, and I mean now he's just it's it's just about time. I feel like he'll improve when the season goes on, but at the moment, I feel like he's just in a position where he's kind of lacking in that regard. It's also probably been also in part because Pascal Siakam has been on an MVP candidacy position himself for how good he's been playing. Um, when a lot of people thought last year he was going to get traded, man's now averaging 25, 9, 8. Yeah, 25, 9, and 8.
Wait, Pascal is?
Yeah, Pascal's averaging 25 points per game,
Oh,
9.5 rebounds, and 8 assists a game.
dude, that makes me so pissed because I drafted him last year in fantasy and he was so patient while he was injured for like the first month of the season. And he
Yep.
came back and he was good, but he wasn't like that good. But the fact he's playing good this year pisses me off because I pass on him in the draft for that exact reason.
Yeah. Josh Giddey has been hurt for quite a bit of the season so far. Cade Cunningham has been the guy who has been one of the guys who's improved the most compared to last season. Um, Actually,
I
no.
respect that.
You know who has improved the most? Jalen Green. He's playing. I mean, he's playing on a Rockets team that's 2-11. The guy's averaging 22 points from 17 last season.
His
Off
shooting
of
percentages are up too. I'm
no,
pretty sure.
his 3 point percentage is up. His free throw percentage is down, but his field goal percentage is the same as last season.
Oh, okay.
But
But 3 point went up is also good because his 3 point percentage last year I think might have been like 32 or something. It
32.
definitely
Yep.
was. Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely wasn't anything special.
Cade's averaging 20 points per game off of 41% from the field and 28% from three, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. But I mean, this is the guy who's supposed to be your future superstar,
Yeah.
and the Pistons are not utilizing him properly. He's also out for the next 4 games with shin soreness, so he's out. He's gonna be out for a couple of games. But I mean,
I think you mentioned another player earlier, for a different conversation we were having, but Herb Jones is also another person I'd put in like the
oh yep.
category of very solid second year player. Just looking better each game.
Oh damn. Yeah, no, I mean, there's there's some guys that from their rookie to sophomore season are going to make the jump. I mean, we already see it with Jalen Green. We see it with Cade Cunningham. But Cade Cunningham was more efficient last year. He's getting more touches now, but I just feel like Cade's gone down in his efficiency. He'll go up, but I feel like Cade and Jalen Green have been the most improved players from their rookie to sophomore season. And Scotty Barnes is good, but he's definitely regressed a little bit since he's had to pretty much gift the ball to Gary Trent Jr., Fred Van Vliet, OG Anunoby. That Rockets team is also a very deep team. So there's just so many options on that team as well.
Yeah, it's just too bad none of them can play defense. The
I mean, two of their players
Rockets
lead the
are
league in steals per game.
Yeah, but the Rockets are bad for a reason.
Oh
Like
no, not
they're
not
they're
Rockets,
they're
Pistons. Not
oh,
Pistons.
you said Rockets.
Raptors. I meant.
Gotcha.
Oh,
You started mentioning some Raptors players, but you said
yep,
Rockets. So I was like,
yep.
the Rockets are not good defensively, bro.
No, the Rockets are terrible defensively. They're one of the teams with the Warriors that are allowing the most points per game.
The Raptors are much better defensively than the Rockets.
Yes,
They're definitely one of the teams who's been solid for quite a while too.
you see,
Like even back when Kawhi was there, I'm pretty sure they were the best defense in the league that
one of
year.
the best defenses. Yes, OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet, two Toronto Raptors players, are combined average of 5.2 steals per game. What?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me with OG.
Let's see where is the Raptors?
Anunoby is like that dude is willing to fight anybody off the ball, bro. He's a scrapper.
Yeah, the Raptors are 17th in points per game, so their offense isn't fantastic. They're 20th in rebounds, 25th in assists, but they're ninth in offensive points per game allowed, which is 109.4. So they're allowing less points than they're scoring, so which is a good thing to have. And it's just attributed to the fact that their coaching staff is good, and Nick Nurse is a good coach. Gotta have that though with teams nowadays, especially teams that are very heavily talented like the Raptors and have a lot of players who can go out and get you 25 points and play good defense like they do. Um, Kyrie ruled out versus Lakers, no timetable to return. Um, okay.
Grilling.
Yep.
The Kyrie saga.
Yeah, back. No, we're not gonna go back to that. We won't go back to that. Um, we talked earlier about MVP candidates being Luka Doncic, Giannis, those guys. Um, Rookie of the year, we discussed that a little bit with Benedict Mathurin from the Pacers and Paulo
It's
Banchero.
got to be Paolo.
Yeah,
Like
Paulo needs
nothing,
it.
no one. I would think Paolo gets it for next year too. He's averaging 30 a game for like the first week of the season, like the first 2 weeks. The dude is just he honestly, to be fair, as much as I had expectations for Chet coming into the year, I think Paolo at this point would have been better than Chet.
Yeah, no, Paulo would have been better than Chet. I agree. Um,
But also having SGA on his team, like Chet might be very in a very good position his unofficial first year. All right, his official first year, I guess I should say.
so I'm looking at hashtag basketball's NBA rookie rankings. Um, they have color guides for each statistic. Uh, Gray just being average, light green good, green very good, and then like a darker green being elite, below average and not good. They have Paulo Boncaro in elite, but for some reason they have him as player is in doubt. He's not in doubt. He's averaging 24 points per game. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game. He's averaging almost 4 assists. Yeah, his turnover numbers are high compared to the rest of the rookie ranks, but compared to everyone else, he's been pretty good. But yeah, Paulo Banchero's up there. Um, Jaden Ivey is not as high up as Benedict Mathurin is, but I would say it's Paulo Banchero and then like Benedict Mathurin and then Jaden Ivey. Um, yeah, no, I
Oh,
mean
bro, I am so glad I didn't put Derrick Henry in this week. Whew. Somebody took Derrick Henry off their team in fantasy football. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Tommy,
Derrick
but
Henry in football.
yeah, somebody sent him to the waiver wire. I just joined a random league,
Yep.
and he did not do crazy this week. He only got 8 fantasy points. So
Didn't the
Justin
Titans
Jefferson
lose?
got me another 35, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
they just won
Oh,
too. Oh, Tennessee
Minnesota
won.
beat
They
Buffalo.
did beat
Oh my
Buffalo.
God, bro.
They won in overtime.
That's crazy, dog.
Dallas and Green Bay are in overtime right now. Green Bay loses, they're out of the playoffs. They will not make the playoffs if they lose to Dallas right now.
Yeah. I'm excited for Philly at
Philly
Washington
and
too.
Washington.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could. Yeah.
Actually, no, they're not at Washington. They're in Philadelphia.
No, I DoorDash myself shit all the time. Where's my 10 day? um, Cleveland's down 21 to Minnesota, half quarter, 2/3 of the way through the third. Um, Rookie of the year, definitely Paulo Banchero. Most improved player as of right now through 2023.
Can
Sports
you count?
bets. What?
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna say, can you for this one? Would you technically count Donovan Mitchell?
What for most improved?
Yeah,
No. See, the reason
you
why
wouldn't.
you wouldn't want to include him is because he's already been an all star. I mean, if he regressed a hefty amount or he got really hurt and then came back and had the season he's playing right now, then I would put him as a most improved player.
Well,
But
think about like Clay Thompson. Wasn't Clay Thompson considered for most improved
no.
the year? Are you sure he wasn't considered?
1 minute. I
Because
don't
I
believe
feel
it was.
like because I feel like that was what the I thought that was what everyone had been talking about around the time, being like, oh well, Clay just came off a pretty devastating like back-to-back injury.
The last thing I see is Clay Thompson being considered for most improved player in 2012.
Oh yeah, no, never mind.
Um, but the bets have um betting right now has let's see,
Who
let's see,
won it
let's
last
see.
year? Was it Jordan Clarkson?
Last year's winner?
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember. Most improved player last season? Oh, I'm pretty sure it was John Morant.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't that isn't that the exact
Yeah,
same
John
thing as
Morant.
what Donovan Mitchell would have been?
He wasn't an all star though. He wasn't an all star the season prior. He was an all star the season in which he won most improved.
Shit. Okay. Well,
Let's see. Let's see. Ja Morant. You know, and then
dude, I didn't realize Steph Curry's averaging 30,
yeah, he's
what is it,
averaging 33.4.
33.3? Yeah, that's pretty nuts, dude.
See, he went from 19 points, 4 rebounds, and shooting a effective field goal percentage of 49% to scoring almost 28 points per game, getting 6 rebounds per game, and having an effective field goal of 53%, while pretty much
Dang.
playing the same amount of games and playing the same amount of minutes. So that's pretty much
Basic
why they made him most improved.
Basically, okay. Yeah. Definitely pretty good numbers.
Yep. But I would say that the most improved player of the season as of right now, leading up to this current point of the season, would have to be Tyrese Halliburton, Shea Gilgis, or Laurie Markkinen.
Those are all really good ones.
I don't think Shea Gilgis was in the All Star game last season, so
But Laurie Markkinen was, right?
Laurie Markkinen hasn't been in an All Star game either. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's cool. Would you consider Jalen Green on that list? You were mentioning he was playing pretty good.
Jalen Green has improved in scoring. I don't think he's improved much else in every other category, though. So I wouldn't put him in that because, I mean, looking at everyone else that I had mentioned, Tyrese Halliburton, Laurie Markkinen, and Shea Gilgis, they've all improved. And sorry about that. I just had some things to take care of real quick. So I want to go to this as like the closing real quick. The last couple, like the last like big question.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
who do you think? Okay, so the last big question. I mean, we'll discuss more in like later episodes and stuff like that. But who would you think is the early favorite to go and win their respective conference for each team, no, each conference.
Okay. Well, I have to say in the East, I feel like it's pretty easy. I think he comes back healthy and just dominates the league the rest of the year, and I think Giannis takes the Bucks more or less unscathed to the finals.
Yep.
I don't think that there's any questions asked. I think the Celtics would be a tough rival, but I imagine them first and second, and they're not going to have to play each other.
Yeah.
And maybe the Celtics struggle round two, maybe they struggle round three in the conference finals. But either way, I don't think the Bucks have too much of a too much trouble handling anybody. I just it's not no disrespect to the Celtics either. I think they're very good this year, and they were very good last year as well. But they don't have Giannis. No team in the league has
Oh yeah, they
Giannis.
definitely don't have. Probably, I mean, almost without question, the best player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Um, what about the West? Who do you think comes out of the West?
Who do I think comes out of the West? See, now that's more tough. I don't think there's one team that specifically just steals the West, kind of like you had mentioned earlier. But, my heart says LA. But I'm not an idiot, so I think there's no chance the Lakers win the Western Conference Finals this year. Uh, I'll be honest, dude. I would really like to see Portland do it.
Yeah.
But I got to put the Nuggets in first place there. Even though they're probably not going to, that's who I want to.
Bro, I feel like subconsciously you've just made this like subconscious of being like, yeah, Jesus looking Damian Lillard's nuts. So, I'm just going to pick like any other team, well, the Lakers included, even though the Lakers
No,
are
no.
bottom of the conference. I mean, personally, I think it would be fantastic to see Portland finally make that leap out of the Western Conference and into like NBA lore because Lillard sacrificed not as much as some historically great NBA players like Dirk Nowitzki, guys like him, Tim Duncan, who have given up lots of money to secure their talent to win championships. But I mean, Lillard has sacrificed a lot of his ability to win titles to stay with Portland because of his loyalty to the franchise. And that would be cool to see someone like him be praised and rewarded for his ability to stay with team, much like Giannis was, because again, Giannis had made the playoffs multiple times. He got beaten out of the playoffs by teams like LeBron's teams, the Raptors, Sixers, them guys. And people were questioning whether or not Giannis was going to stay loyal to the team. And Giannis was like, you know what? Let's keep going at it. They won the title 2 years back against the Suns. And then it was like just loyalty to the franchise. So it'd be cool to see a NBA star lead their franchise they've been with to a title. But, I mean, you just never know, especially in the Western Conference when there's like 7-8 teams that could be legitimate title contenders.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely like, I'm not saying Dame isn't deserving of winning one. I would like to see him win one, but
Yep.
I also like, there's just in my personal favorite teams, it goes Lakers, Nuggets, and then Dallas. And it's specifically because, well, I mean, the Lakers are my favorite franchise because of Kobe,
Yep.
but Denver, I've really just, since watching him in the bubble, Jamal Murray became my second favorite player in the league behind LeBron. And
Yeah.
then after that, I mean, Luca is just unreal, man.
Yeah.
Like he just somehow manages to play kind of like Jokic as like not the most athletic looking player out there, but definitely the best player on the court at the same time. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
he's not like overly fast. He's definitely not overly strong, and he's definitely not like the
he's
most
not
like
super athletic, but
yeah,
he's just what, Luka Doncic?
yeah,
He is
yeah,
definitely he's
exactly.
got see I feel like he has the deepest bag out of any player in the league offensively because of his ability to shoot, his ability to drive into the lane and make defenses guess on what he's going to do. He's definitely one of those players who, if he goes into triple threat, whether he's going to be passing, driving, or shooting, you literally have to anticipate one before he does it. You have to put your best guy on him every night, or else he's going to make you pay.
Definitely. That's why he's just like you said, he's very well equipped. He's got every move in his bag, and he's definitely a threat in pretty much any spot inside the half court line.
And that's the thing. He continues to improve too with his play in Slovenia, his training camps, that kind of thing. He's always improving, and he's only 23 years old. He's still young,
Yeah.
so
That kind of led me into like the last question I'd remember that you had asked that was a really good one about who I thought I would want to lead a franchise at the young age or like under
yep,
27 or
yeah,
something
yep.
like
That was
that.
one of the questions I was gonna ask, but I completely forgot about it.
No
Player to
worries.
lead under 27.
Yeah, definitely. I would have to go Luca any day of the week.
Yeah, no. If you put Luca around a bunch of players who have the ability to shoot and score, or ability to create that offense for Luka Doncic, then yeah, I would definitely have to say Luka Doncic because again, he's got the deepest bag out of any player offensively in the league.
Yeah,
Um,
and the other thing, his offense is so gifted that you could literally put him on a team full of a bunch of players who can't score but can run the pick and roll, and you just have him run pick and rolls, and he can average 40 a game, and they would
yep.
still be nasty. Like if they could just play defense and run the most basic offense in the world.
Yeah. See, that's Giannis is 27 and under. Well, under 27, Giannis wouldn't be in that conversation. If we were discussing 27 or younger, Giannis is technically in that conversation until December 6th. So,
Got it. I didn't. I was that was the one kind of like outlier. Like
yeah.
Giannis would be my other pick for that, but they're for very different reasons. Giannis would just be that person who's able to control every aspect of the team defensively.
Yeah.
He's a big enough anchor where he can fit up. He can like lift up and play any role defensively. If you need him to guard the perimeter, he's probably not the best because they have Chris Middleton to do so. But
Yep.
like he could probably just about guard anyone out there just simply because of his length and athleticism.
Yeah, see, he is a He is a not a liability. Not a liability. He's an outlier. He's an outlier for his size and craftiness and the ability to drive into the paint and score.
Hmm.
He is an above average offensive player compared to the average league player in the NBA, but his defense is definitely one of the big reasons why that team is so good. I mean, he's averaging
Yeah.
32 points per game and almost 13 rebounds per game. He is all around the best player in the league. But if we're considering offense alone, Luka Doncic is definitely the best player in the league in that regard. Giannis Antetokounmpo though is just like at 27 years old, he's already accomplished so much that we're already seeing people discuss him being in uh this the same area and wavelength as like LeBron James. But again, we don't know for sure yet because I mean LeBron James came in the league and he was already great. Giannis had to get to that point, and he's been in that point for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. The real question is, can Giannis stay as healthy and for as long as LeBron
Yep.
has? Because I think that there's no question if you're making it if you're making it 17 years into the league as a Giannis prototype, there's no reason why your potential isn't there.
Yep.
With the way the game's evolved to be higher offensive, like capability, like you can shoot from pretty much anywhere at this point, and you're not going to get benched right away.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like the depth, the speed that the game's played at, the high scoring offenses that can put up 145 in a night.
Yeah.
Like,
And players are playing less now than they were years past. LeBron was averaging like 40 minutes per game in his like first 7 or 8 seasons. You got players now, they're only averaging 33 minutes per game as all stars and stuff. LeBron was having to carry an entire franchise and playing 40 something minutes a game in his
yeah,
younger days. But
Yeah, and he's still fucking balling, bro. It's crazy.
he's averaging.
LeBron is just so insane, dude.
I mean, yeah, his 3-point numbers aren't good, but he's averaging 25, 9, and 7 in
Yeah,
his 20th year in the league, pretty much. One, two, pretty much his 20th year in the league. He was averaging 40 minutes per game, 42, 42, 41, 41, 38, 39, 39, 38, 38, 38. He was averaging 36 minutes or more throughout his career in all but 5 seasons. And he's played 20 seasons. And every season he's played, except for
nuts.
his first season in LA, his second season, his third season in LA, he's played over 50 games. So,
Understandable.
but I mean, again, I don't think anyone's gonna come close to how how good LeBron has been for so long. But if we're
Oh yeah,
talking about the ability to be good currently with the younger guys, I would have to take either Giannis, who's about to turn 28 in a month, or I'd take Luka Doncic, who's only 23 years old and has already established himself as one of the top 5 players in the league.
sure. Those are definitely the two big bets.
Yeah. Um.
But anyway, yeah, if you wanted to wrap it up, Tommy, I don't know if you had an outro prepared or not.
No, I don't. I don't really have an outro prepared. It's pretty. I mean, I was pretty
We
much
could
gonna
just
almost end
smash
it
our
off.
desks.
Yep. All right. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the last hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes of discussion. Hopefully you enjoyed the last hour and 45 minutes of NBA discussion and other stuff. Um, we'll have to get some of the other guys on it, definitely, for sure, too, so then we can get more opinions other than just yours and mine. Um, but yeah, it's definitely something I want to keep going on. So.
For sure. Just my only request is no Blazers fans allowed.
Fuck you, Cheese. You're not allowed in here, bitch boy. Alrighty. Yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up here. Gonna end it. Um, yeah, I'll just, yeah, just gonna end it here. It was good to go over the whole podcast with you. I'm probably gonna join the Xbox party shortly, so if you want to join it, I'll be in there in like 5-10 minutes.
For sure. I'm gonna do it right now then. Peace out,
Alrighty,
buddy.
awesome. Peace. Alrighty. So that's the end of the podcast. If you guys enjoyed what you just heard, discussions we have, make sure to follow the podcast. We're gonna do the podcast. We're gonna put the podcast on Spotify. We're gonna put some clips up on TikTok. We're gonna do some stuff on Twitter. We're gonna put some stuff up on Twitter. We're gonna put the whole podcast on YouTube. As an MP4. MP3 on Spotify, all that kind of stuff. But again, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like on the specific platforms. Give us a follow. If you have any questions that you'd like for us to answer and put in on the podcast, just type it in comments, and we'll put as many of them in as we possibly can. Alrighty, guys, have a fantastic rest of the day, rest of the night, rest of the morning, whenever you're listening to it, and peace.